Good morning and welcome to another wonderful episode of Daybreak. I'm Nick Konopka.
And I'm Sam Hindman. On today's episode, it's been nearly 2 years since the Tree of Life synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh. We'll tell you how to get involved in Point Park's remembrance of those lost.
And it's official, Point Park spring break is canceled. Find out how the university plans to deal with this change coming up.
We'll tell you how your pumpkin can win Pioneer Pantry's Pumpkin Palooza this Halloween season.
And of course, our reporters will catch you up on everything you need to know in national sports, entertainment, and tech news.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now.
Now we're going to take it over to Jasmine with the weather report.
It looks like we're going to be having some pretty decent fall weather this weekend, starting off with a high of 79 and a low of 50 on Friday. On Saturday, we're going to see a slight chance of rain, a high of 54 and a low of 36. And then moving into Sunday, we're going to see a high of 53 and a low of 48 for another sunny Sunday.
Things really have been heating up lately, huh?
I know, these temperatures can just not make up their minds. Hopefully they stay consistent after this weekend.
Exactly. I mean, today it was so hot out. I was sweating and I was only wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
It was nice though.
It was, yeah.
And here's your campus news, starting with today's campus COVID-19 dashboard.
On this upcoming Monday, October 26th, Spiritual Life will be hosting a Zoom call hosted by Pastor Jennifer to mark the 2-year anniversary of the synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh. This call is meant to reflect upon the deaths and to remember the lives of the faithful people lost, not only in the Pittsburgh shooting, but in several acts of violence across the nation. If you wish to join, the meeting ID as well as the password is located in your Point Park emails.
Students looking forward to some time off next semester may have to cancel their plans. That is because, according to the academic calendar, Point Park will no longer have a spring break for their spring 2021 semester. This change was made in tandem with an extra week being added to the winter break between semesters. Originally, classes were to resume on Monday, January 11th, but will now begin on the following Tuesday, the 19th. It is not yet known why this change was made, but it could be to avoid a period of remote learning similar to the one planned after 2020's Thanksgiving break.
Halloween is approaching and the Pioneer Pantry is getting into the spirit with their Pumpkin Palooza. To participate, all you need is a pumpkin and your imagination. Decorate the pumpkin however you'd like. You could paint it, carve it, or add any sort of embellishments. Then upload a photo and be sure to tag @Point Park Pioneer Pantry on Instagram or email it to pantrypumpkins@gmail.com anytime in between October 26th and October 31st. Make sure to vote for your favorite on their Instagram and may the best pumpkin win. So Nick, it's crazy hearing that spring break is canceled.
I know. Did you have any plans for the spring that you have to cancel now?
I didn't because of COVID, so I think maybe it's a good move.
Yeah, I think it's better because, have some more time at home when you don't have to worry about classes or homework or anything.
Exactly. All right, coming up after the break, we'll tell you how you can now get free coronavirus testing in Pittsburgh.
City, national, and tech news is next. Don't go anywhere.
Alright, so if that's all the positions for this show, we can go ahead in the studio and get set up.
Wait, where's Nick and Taylor?
I guess they took Start Your Mornings with Us a little too seriously.
Welcome back to Daybreak. We'll break down the newly released report recommendations that could help redefine the Pittsburgh Police Department.
We've got that coming up. Here's your city news.
A federal grand jury in the city of Pittsburgh recently indicted 6 Russian officers for alleged cyber attacks on computer systems across the globe. The attacks, which took place between 2015 and 2019, targeted systems ranging from Ukrainian power grids to the 2018 Winter Olympics and even the Heritage Valley Health System here in western PA. In a press conference held on Monday, federal attorney Scott Brady described the breaches as, quote, some of the most destructive, most costly, and most egregious cyber attacks ever known, end quote. One of the defendants, Anatoly Kovalev, was previously charged with attempting to hack systems relating to the 2016 election. Despite this, federal agents remain confident the results will remain secure for the 2020 election.
As on-campus testing is limited, you may have to branch out to find somewhere for COVID-19 tests. Luckily, the Allegheny County Health Department is hosting testing sites at several faith-based locations in the city throughout the next few weeks. These tests are absolutely free, insurance is not required, and prescriptions and referrals are unnecessary. These tests will be outdoors and they are welcoming either drive-thrus or walk-ups. You can expect your results 2 to 3 days after the testing. For more information on dates and times, please visit the Allegheny County Health Department's website.
Back in June, Mayor Bill Peduto created a task force with the goal of reviewing and reforming the practices of the Pittsburgh Police, and on Tuesday, the committee released its long-awaited findings. The report made recommendations in 8 areas, including the elimination of racial disparities, use of de-escalation tactics, as well as limits on the use of tear gas and rubber bullets for crowd control. A portion of the report also focused on officer wellness and the possible creation of a First Responders Resiliency Center to provide psychological support to officers and their families. The task force also recommended a reallocation of funds from the police department to human services agencies that would deal with non-criminal crisis intervention. Still, the recommendations must be reviewed by the mayor and city council before being officially implemented. It's really interesting seeing changes actually being implemented, or at least recommended, following the racial protests back in June.
Yeah, and I think that it's honestly a really good reflection of the impact that, taking a stand for what you believe in and exercising your rights can really have on your day-to-day life.
And it's especially interesting seeing it happen in places so local to us here in Pennsylvania.
Yes. All right. Well, Colton DeBias is joining us remotely with everything you need to know in national news. Colton?
Thanks, Sam and Nick. In a stunning turn of events, Pope Francis is making headlines as he is endorsing same-sex civil unions, something no pope has ever done before. According to the Catholic News Agency, the Pope mentioned his support for same-sex marriages in a new documentary about the pontiff's life called Francisco. According to NBC News, the move has caused division in the Catholic Church, with Bishop Arterio Bates, a former Archbishop of the Philippines, saying, and I quote, I am really scandalized by his defense of homosexual unions, which surely leads to immoral acts, end quote. In the passenger railroad service, Amtrak can be in serious danger of laying off over 2,400 jobs. According to the New York Times, Amtrak Chief Executive William Flynn said in a congressional hearing he is requesting a budget of $4.9 billion, which includes the agency's $2 billion standard appropriation. However, both Democrat and Republican lawmakers criticized Flynn for his cost-cutting measures in response to COVID-19 when he cut long-distance routes. Flynn said he has no intention of cutting its long-distance trains and will assess the situation in February. Ever since March, when the pandemic began to spread, Amtrak service fell 97%, and the projected revenue for 2020 declined 53%, according to Amtrak data. That's it for national news. Let's send it over to Adam Snook to get you caught up on all the tech news from around the area. Adam?
Thanks, Colton. Are you a beloved iPhone user? Well, I have some good news. Apple just released the iPhone 12 despite the obstacles put in place by the pandemic. But is the brand new iPhone really worth your money? According to Apple, they are releasing 4 different types of models: the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, the Pro Max, and the all-new iPhone 12 mini. The Mini will be sold at the price of $700, while the most expensive model will cost up to almost $1,100. Now, is spending that much money on a phone really a smart choice? As always, Apple intends to improve the performance of each phone, primarily focusing on the camera. Now, the downside to the new iPhone isn't the phone itself, but in the box. Or should I say, not in the box. The packaging of the new iPhone is going to be missing a component, and that is the brick for charging. Before you call customer support in outrage, take a listen to the reasoning from Vice President of Environment Policy and Initiative, Lisa Jackson. Due to the abundance of power adapters in the world, there is no need to package one into the box, since many people already have it. This will allow Apple to, and I quote, fit up to 70% more items on a shipping pallet, decreasing shipping emission. Is this a deal breaker for iPhone enthusiasts, or are you planning to order your iPhone after this episode? That is it for your timely tech news. Let's send it back to our hosts, Nick and Sam.
After the break, Carlo Andreassi and Countdown with Carlo is breaking down this week in the world of politics.
And our reporters are in studio for your entertainment and sports news. We'll be right back.
Set up. Wait, where's Nick and Taylor?
I guess they took Start Your Mornings with Us a little too seriously.
Start your mornings with us! Only on Daybreak!
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Jasmine Schulte with this week's wrap-up in entertainment. It's that time of year. Spooky season is among us, and Halloween is just days away. Just as we love to see, classic Halloween movies like Hocus Pocus have been airing non-stop this month. Hocus Pocus stars Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, also known as the Sanderson sisters, recently had a little sisterly reunion. They pulled out their original Halloween costumes from the movie that premiered 27 years ago to take this picture in their iconic ensembles. This reunion photo was posted on social media to announce a one-time only reunion special. The lead witch, Bette Midler, tweeted the photo with the caption, "Your 3 fave witches and me are returning for one night only at 8 p.m. The special night is part of a virtual Halloween fundraising event known as Halloween, benefiting the New York Restoration Project. In an interview with Sanderson sister Sarah Jessica Parker, she revealed that she's only seen Hocus Pocus once. I don't know about you, but I've watched this movie at least 3 times just this month. Speaking of witchcraft, it was only 5 years ago that the infamous picture of the black and blue or white and gold dress sparked a debate as to which colors the dress actually was. Billie Eilish recently posted photos that are melting our minds yet again. Eilish was showing off a pair of Nike Air sneakers on her Instagram story, joking that her dad was saying that they were pink and white. She was shocked when fans began replying that the shoes do look pink and white, while others replied saying the shoes looked mint green. She continued to post on her Instagram story that the shoes are actually mint green in real life. For me personally, I see these shoes as pink and white, but most people are seeing them as mint green. I bet you never thought we'd see another picture debate like the black and blue and gold and white dress, but leave it to 2020 to spice things up again. That's all I've got for entertainment. Let's throw it back to Cam Wilson with everything you need to know in sports. Cam?
Thanks, Jasmine. Starting with the MLB, the World Series is set with the LA Dodgers will square off against the Tampa Bay Rays. It is the Dodgers' third visit in the last 4 years, and they are in a search for their first World Series since 1988. It is the second trip in franchise history for the Tampa Bay Rays, though. Their only other World Series appearance was in 2008 when they lost to the Philadelphia Phillies. The series is currently underway at the brand new Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. The Dodgers and the Rays are currently tied one game apiece in the series, and the game starts at 8 o'clock tonight. In the NFL, the Steelers and Titans remain undefeated after they both won Sunday. They join the Seahawks with a record of 5-0. All three teams have already had their bye week. All of this could change this week and will change as the Steelers are traveling to Nashville to take on the Titans. For a rescheduled matchup that was moved from October 3rd due to the Titans organization's COVID outbreak. The Seahawks will travel to Arizona and take on the Cardinals, who are coming off a blowout win over the Dallas Cowboys. That's all for sports. Let's catch up with Carlo Andreassi for this week's Countdown with Carlo.
Thanks, Cam. Welcome to Countdown with Carlo. I'm Carlo Andreassi. We have a lot to unpack this week as tensions are rising with the election just days away. For an update in the polls, Trump has now taken a lead on Biden in Ohio, but only by 0.1. The polls in Ohio have always stayed relatively close, and this is a state that could really swing either way come November. It will be very fascinating to see what happens. For the other battleground states, Trump maintains a small lead in Texas, and the lead that Biden started to hold in Georgia is closing in. It seems with many states, the races are tightening up in President Trump's favor, though Biden still holds a lead in all the swing states minus Ohio, and a 10-point lead nationally. Because of the debate on ABC on October 15th being canceled due to President Trump refusing to participate in a virtual debate, Biden opted to do a town hall on the network on the same date. Because Biden was having a town hall, Trump also wanted to join in on the action and planned his own town hall on NBC at the same scheduled time. What received most media attention from Trump's town hall was when Savannah Guthrie hit him with very pressing questions asking him why he hasn't denounced the QAnon conspiracy theory. President Trump responded saying that he isn't even familiar with QAnon, but he has heard that they're strongly against pedophilia. When pressed on if he truly believes the conspiracy theory that Democrats are involved in a satanic pedophile ring, he stated that he doesn't know. Savannah cited that he's retweeted a conspiracy theory that Biden ordered the Navy to cover up the, quote, fake death of bin Laden, and Trump said, quote, that was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. Savannah fired back, saying that Trump has a responsibility as president not to spread false information, as he is not, quote, someone's crazy uncle who can just retweet whatever. Trump and a lot of conservative figures, such as Charlie Kirk, criticized NBC and Savannah Guthrie for not giving him a fair town hall and instead using it as an opportunity to make Trump look bad with opposing questions. Though, Trump feels he did great at the event and reassured Americans that he built up a great economy before COVID and will do it once more. On Vice President Biden's town hall on ABC, hosted by George Stephanopoulos, he discussed a variety of issues. A notable moment is when Stephanopoulos pressed Biden on the issue of packing the courts, saying that he said in a Democratic debate last year that he would not pack the courts, but is now changing his rhetoric after the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett. Biden simply responded by saying he's still not a fan of court packing, but that there's a myriad of factors that could arise from the election, and he's, quote, open to considering what happens from that point on. In preparation for a potential Biden presidency, House progressives such as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and 39 progressive organizations wrote and signed a sternly worded letter to the Biden campaign, calling for Biden to appoint no corporate executives or lobbyists to his administration. Although the left flank of the Democratic Party is pledging support for Biden's campaign, it seems they're planning a pushback on his more moderate platform should he become president. There is a split in the Democratic Party, and without Trump around for Democrats to work together, that split will likely prove to be far more apparent. At the second and final presidential debate at Delmont University in Nashville, Tennessee on Thursday, the candidates were muted when it was their opponent's turn to speak. This change was made due to the heavy backlash the first debate got due to the candidates constantly speaking over each other. The debate occurred last night, and stay tuned next week for my analysis on that debate here on Countdown with Carlo.
So, Carlo, you said that Biden said in the past that he was opposed to court packing. Why do you think he believes it's advantageous to himself to obfuscate on the matter now?
Look, I honestly think that he's being genuine here. At the end of the day, I think he's waiting on whether we have a Democratic Senate or not to really start pondering the question of whether we should pack the courts or not.
So, Carlo, you mentioned the letter that AOC sent to Biden regarding his administration and lobbyists. Do you think that Biden is going to heed this recommendation or, I suppose, warning from AOC, or do you think he's going to disregard it?
Look, at the end of the day, if you look where Biden's getting his money for his campaign from, I don't think he really owes AOC and the more progressive-leaning Democrats anything. I think it's more of just a warning from them that they're not necessarily going to be friendly to Biden during his presidency.
And as we know, many QAnon supporters and people with allegiances with the group are running for Congress for this current election cycle. Would you say that was one of the reasons that Trump was afraid to condemn the group outright?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are definitely a lot of congressional Republicans who do support QAnon, and I think Trump kind of leans towards anyone who gives him support, so that's why I think he's hesitant to denounce QAnon.
All right, thanks, Carlo. We'll be right back with this week's Ray of Sunshine.
Alright, so if that's all the positions for this show, we can go ahead in the studio and get set up.
Wait, where's Nick and Taylor?
I guess they took Start Your Mornings with Us a little too seriously.
Start your mornings with us! Only on Daybreak!
Welcome back to Daybreak. Before we say goodbye, we'd like to share with you this week's Ray of Sunshine.
In case this is your first time joining us or you need a refresher, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting your day with a smile and an inspirational quote.
This week's quote comes from author John Addison.
The quote reads, "You're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotting." I like that one.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It takes some pondering to understand at first.
Yeah.
You're either green or growing or ripe and rotting.
I
mean, I guess it makes... Oh, go ahead.
No, ahead.
Okay, I mean...
I don't know, honestly.
If you're... I mean, you're either, green and growing, you're not ready, and you're kind of preparing, or you're red and rotten. So you kind of have to keep working at things before you're ready. I think that's kind of what it means.
Yeah.
I think what it's saying is that, once you stop growing as, a person is whenever you sort of, plateau or you start to rot in a sense. So you should always keep striving for something better, and contentment isn't always a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like everything you do in this life either has like a positive or negative effect, and it's either helping you grow or it's retracting from you.
Yeah, you guys put that a lot more eloquently than I ever could have.
Okay, Nick.
That's it for Daybreak. Thank you for watching.
You can catch clips from all of our previous Daybreak episodes on our Facebook at Daybreak on UView.
And make sure to check out our full episode and all of our shows from UView on our website, uview.pointpark.edu. Tune in next week for the news you need. I'm Sam Heinzman.
I'm Nick Konopka.
And I'm Carlo Andreassi. Hoping your news is good news. Have a great day, everyone.